All right, so today is going to be a really experimental video, and we're really going to talk about the holistic styling of the whole entire video, from clothing to visuals to everything. It's a really great song. It's a great pop thing. It's really good. He's always found a good team of people and really pushes the envelope in a lot of ways. And we can learn a lot when we look at it as a whole, not just really quick at a glance. And for me, I think Justin Bieber's he's always been doing something really interesting. I've always liked him. There's been a lot of times that people hate on the kid or guy, whatever. At this point, I think everybody's kind of over it and they're like, oh no, he does a good job. So we'll talk about the artist himself. At the end of the video, I have some awesome insight on the person that he is. But let's get into it. So first of all, the video was directed by this guy, Bardia Zanali. I'm not sure how to say that exactly. But I'm sure you've seen the video. If not, check it out. But let's kind of just go into the idea of the video itself. And we're going to break down the video and what I'm seeing and what I'm thinking as we go along. And we're going to look into everything. So one of the first things that's great, so it's a Def Jam production, and on on the actual thing, he actually credits everybody, which is not that common. It's really great to see this, because it's not just a director. They have a big vision, but there's so much work done by everybody else. So I would have to say that to start everything off, this video has just a lot of respect to the team, and everybody's part you'll start to see, because I have everything all prepped up. It's just so holistic. It's really interesting. So we'll get back into that. I'm a fan of a lot of these people. And then we'll go into some video comment stuff too, which is also an interesting thing. But anyways, so in the video, let's get into it. So the first thing we have going on here is I'm noticing he's walking into the kitchen, and he has this type of slouchy bottom jeans, and we're seeing some very wide legs here, and then the pink shoes, whatever, so on. So that's an interesting starting step for men's style. We're in 2020. Only a few years ago, the slim jeans was everything. If you look at older videos of his, slim, skinny jeans. Now he's it's almost like it's a slightly pajama type material. It's almost not real life, but I think that it says something. We'll get to that later. And then he has this pink hoodie. You're going to start seeing pink everywhere. It's ridiculous. And let's see, we scrub through, and we're even seeing, this is the beginning of, I don't know if you can see here, there's like a wallet chain, front pocket, some kind of bling here. And then we're seeing this pink hair, which we'll get into the hair a little bit later in a second, but I just kind of want to address the idea of jewelry. And jewelry is really a fascinating thing to me, because I feel like everything's just so digital. I think he's so commonplace with this very casual outfit. The jewelry really steps it up. And when you're talking about style of any sort, especially this kind of more street style or like whatever, you're going to start seeing that there's balance. So without these little things that I'm going to be pointing out, we're really it's almost just incomplete. And the whole word that we're going to kind of end up with as far as his style of this video is holistic, I want to say, and balanced. It's really smart. Now there's a lot of it that's kind of like shallow, like there's not too much to it, like it's a simple concept. But I wanted to dive in because I think it's really helpful to see how I go about creating my style, the styles and designs that I'm looking into. I really break down everything, and I look at it, analyze it, and I decide what I like and what I want to take away. And for me, the balance of what he's doing is what I really love. So if we keep going, let's see. He's wearing some. This is kind of the first look at the style, which, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. But he has these earrings, this crazy necklace, some candy necklace, which is probably more for props than visual. And then we have this Drew shirt, this hoodie, which I checked them out. I don't know what the deal is with them. They're just some kind of company. They're mildly high-end hoodie. They're like $100, but they have a couple things that are like $300. I didn't see this. I'm not sure what the story is there. I'm out of the loop, but I'm assuming that it's kind of more in the skate realm because he's known to have a lot of interest in skating and so on, and that's a lot of the clothing he wears. And if we keep going a little bit, if we keep going, we'll notice this like kind of rugged area stuff here, this like torn stuff, which actually looks really good on this, I would say, very highly starched kind of hoodie. It's actually a really good look. It's very oversized. Let's see here. So let's scrub forward because, actually let's talk about these earrings really quick. Again, we have these earrings that he's doing, and then we're gonna get a better shot of this bracelet, and then he has that pocket thing, and then the necklace. So he's got a lot of bling and things going on, and this super casual hoodie that's very stylish. It's very loud, pink, and then he has obviously this pink hair, which it fits with everything. When I start getting into the hair and makeup and costume people, it'll start to make sense. Now, this is not a long-term thing. I don't think it's something that he does all the time, but with this video, it works. It's part of the styling. But it goes to show how everything is considered. There is a theme of this pink candy, cotton candy, all this stuff. And you start looking at it from an artistic design point of view, and it looks like he has something on his lips. I don't know. It's crazy looking, but he kind of reminds me of like a Halsey tomboy looking style to it, which is almost this androgynous style. Now, it's not my personal style, but it's interesting to start to label things in whatever way you want, because we're going to start looking. Let's do that. Let's go to, say, one of his people, which is the cast styling, this guy. So if we go to his, this guy, he's the styling, and I don't know if you can start to tell, but there is a sort of ridiculous androgynous styling. It's very high fashiony stuff, and starts to make a lot of sense. It's really, really, I don't know, it's just over the top. But it also has a very pastels, like the blacks are very gray if you look at almost all the editing. So if we look at that and we go back to the video and we're scrubbing through, you start to see, here's a better shot of that bracelet, which I'll get back to in a second, but we have other people. Let's see, who was Bardia? Oh, so this is the director, and if you look at his styling, also very, very loud, colorful, very, androgynous, very, late 2019 type of deal. Definitely not my favorite thing, but you can start to see how this guy's director of photography is a perfect fit for this guy's preference. And then we go to this guy who is the hair and makeup, or the stylist. Again, also fits everything in the whole style. Now, what we're going to start getting is that if we start looking at all these people and you start breaking down how holistic everything is, so this makes sense with this and this and this and this, then you take any kind of styling and you start pulling things that start to make sense. And that's how you end up with this very concise and congruent styling of any sort. Especially men, we tend to just not care. We don't look at style as a whole. We know of other ways, like traditional ways. So suits have these rules, we do this stuff. But if you really, really want to push the envelope, even subtly, and just start dressing some way so somebody's like, the girls are all like, oh, I like this, I like that, and you start becoming more attractive and confident, is because you're doing something very special. So it can be a hoodie, and you can be very loud, even in something very common, because you're pulling from these theories of design and these elements of style. So we have this general styling, and this is the colorist. He's also perfect for the video creation too. Again, lifted blacks, lots of loud colors with a pastel shading to it. Company 3 is one of my favorites. They're just awesome. So if we go back, to the video, let's talk a little bit about, again, the bracelet. You'll find that a lot of times people tend to get really attracted onto some things. Like I personally was like, oh, like a blingy bracelet. Maybe I kind of want that because it pops. The contrast of everything, of this whole styling starts to make sense. And this is something that my eye is gravitating towards. I think it's really cool. And then, let's see, his style with like some visual tattoos like that, like on his neck and stuff. It works with it because there's that confidence of style building, which he did before when he had kind of more of a, I would say, cool guy style. Now it's kind of more like overconfident, I guess, guy. He's always been pretty confident dude. So, and in the style world, he really, really shifts and pushes men's style around, and people do replicate what he does. And right now, this video, even though it's kind of a particular themed video, I can guarantee that like hoodies or like this style of hoodie is going to be really popular. And then maybe like if we actually go back to one of these dudes, this guy is like one of his bros or something. We're even looking at the pants fit very, very similar. It's like a very skate style type of deal, where just the skinny jeans are kind of over with, slim. Even myself, about a couple months ago, I bought, it's like a little bit bigger straight fit. So I barely wear my skinny and my slim jeans so much anymore. So it's just kind of this thing that you start to catch on to. You just a little bit here, a little bit there, and then you start going, oh, okay, this works for my body type, and I'm inspired by this, and so on. It's really interesting. So if we go back to the video, just the whole concept of the jeans, and then to continue on, again, we have this crazy bling, and then the pink thing, I doubt that Justin Bieber would be wearing this shirt just on an ordinary, I don't know, who knows, but it works with the theme of this pink cotton candy, pink type of deal. I wouldn't necessarily think that that's like a fashion statement. It's a themed styling. It's a video styling. Wearing Calvin Klein's, I think he like works with them. Again, balance, so it works. You can see how big these pants are, but they're not slouched. They're kind of like, well, they're not hanging, which is good because that's a horrible style, I think. But it's a very, very simple concept. The video is it's all this. It's just him at a table, and he jumps on the table and dances. And then as far as the advertisements go, if we go to, let's see. So if we go to his Instagram, you can see that when the video came out, he posted a lot. And it's just been crazy advertisement. And if you go to, everybody else is in here, for a celebrity of his size, he's going in, he's doing like these random Q&A things, which I think is super smart to do for YouTube. And I kind of want to do that, just like do my own question and answers and whatever they're in there. There's just so many comments. But when I first saw the video, I saw there was a lot of them. There would just be a random one where he's, let's see if I can actually, yeah, so yeah, you can see that they'll keep coming up. If I just kept scrolling, there's more, they're in there. But I thought that was a really smart thing to do, just to throw in your own content that nobody was asking for, but people can appreciate. He's smart. And then here's his TikTok. So TikTok, as far as music goes, Bieber just started his own TikTok. I checked it out. He only has 3 videos, and they're basically these two. It looks just like this. And TikTok, uses videos as music as like a source for everything, and people are eating it up. He put it out, original music, called back to his TikTok. TikTok's growing huge. I think for a while he was one of the biggest Instagram people on Instagram. So I'm sure that TikTok will follow, especially because it's a music-based majority of people on there. So yeah, they're eating it up. And then I saw people with pink hoodies on TikTok and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, yep, it all makes sense. It's starting to come full circle. And so it's really, really interesting to look at him. And I just kind of wanted to finalize the end of this video. I hope that you guys saw some insight into how my brain starts to look at things. And what I'm taking away from this particular video, it's not necessarily some special video to me. It's just one I thought had a loud enough lesson, I think, that I would look at and I go, okay, cool. He has this, I would say balance is the lesson to take away. And like the idea of a whole idea of a style, and like it's designed. It's not necessarily just what he's wearing, it's a theme. And you can theme your personal style. And if you think, say, let's just say it was the opposite of this, just say it was dark and rugged, you start pulling ideas from dark and rugged stylists, and you look at dark and rugged hairstylists and directors of photography, colorists, all this stuff. Like, oh, do you want like kind of like more Saving Private Ryan tone? So you're thinking greens and stuff, and you're like, okay, cool. And then we look at like ripped stuff, and then you start forming these things, and you start seeing these shapes and ties and like just holistic, balanced style. And if you're looking at it that way, then you're kind of thinking you're creating your own music video where you're allowed to get away with ridiculous. So sorry about that, the camera died, but I just wanted to wrap this video up with a little bit of insight with a project I worked on with Justin Bieber. I was an edit and motion graphics artist on it, and I got to watch a lot of the full-on camera roll and everything like that, which is always interesting when you get to be able to do that. And there was a lot of different people, and Justin came on, and he kind of had this like resting angry face almost. And then he came on, like people kind of, you could see that they respected him, but they didn't treat him as well as he should. And after like a couple seconds, everybody started treating him so well because he was super nice dude. And then they started asking him to do weird stuff with like his hat and stuff, and he's like, he like humored them, but he's like, all right, come on, like guys, like it's kind of ridiculous. Like they were just asking weird stuff, and you could see he had some solid boundaries, but he was always wicked respectful and wicked nice, and like he was like offering extra. He was going above and beyond, and this is as a person, professional worker, firsthand sight to the full-on unedited. This is not video that ever gets to go out. It was the in-betweens and how he would treat the people on set. The camera was just rolling. He was super respectful. I think, if I remember correctly, at the end he thanked everybody, and shook everybody's hand and said, like, called people by their names, and really cool. And then the next celebrity would come on and be like far, far less friendly and far, far less cool just in general. He is the kind of person that would be awesome to just be like, oh, what's up, dude? Nice work, you know? Just straight up solid dude, I think. And it's funny because that's not necessarily his image. And then, you know, I've seen stuff with like paparazzi and he's like super normal. It's really weird. So I think a lot of respect should be given on top of him being so successful, because I think that what he does as a person professionally and treating people well is good, and that goes far as a person when you're respectful to people. And yeah, I think that, you know, he's probably just overall very good and talented and artistic. He's a great singer and all that stuff, but picking a great team and trusting certain people to do their job to create a full-on brand or theme for whatever he's doing, I think he's doing really good. And I think that's the biggest takeaway is holistic styling is more important than what the person's wearing. It really, he could have worn a black hoodie, it could have worn a white hoodie, whatever, if it fit the theme, and the theme presented this image and this concept. And that's, I think, what we want to take away from this. So I hope this helps see into my weird brain, but I like to break down stuff, and I frame by frame many, many things in my life and just look at it and then research whoever was responsible for it. It's, I think, something that a lot more people should do, because you get this really, really great insight to everything, and you see the little things. You can see like how, like, let's see, if we took this shot, you break it down, you see, wow, the person who set up this dish did a really good job of filling out the peas in the corner, and there's little scatters, and you're looking at this overhead shot of the end, and yeah, you might notice this the first time, but look at that perfect placement of these crumbs, and the food looks great. You can really appreciate things from the artistic standpoint, more so than just this passive consumption of media. And when you do that, you can really, really take away what the really underlining true art is of something. So yeah, I hope that helps. And if you guys like this kind of video, let me know, because, or if you hate it, then I'll delete it. but I think it's really a fun video to make and very experimental for me. So we'll see. Hopefully you guys see the world how I see it through this video. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, peace.